Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for waiting on all of this. I'm so sorry for the delay, and we're dispatching with the intro sequence there because we already spent enough time trying to figure out some technical trouble. So that was loads of fun trying to figure out why we couldn't hear each other for about like 15 minutes or so. But that
Yeah,
aside,
Discord just decided to be a little bit funny now when it's New Year's Eve, guys.
exactly. But you know what though? Technical trouble aside, it was not going to keep us from doing this thing or keep anybody else apart. We are here and we are going to have some fun tonight. So thank you all for joining us today. I am Sirius Hauser, and with me today is.
Nadja Bloom,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm also the co-host of the Ocean of Anime podcast.
That
And today we are continuing to talk more about Death Note once again.
that's right, and it's been quite a ride so far. I can tell you that right now. It's been one of the craziest seasons I've seen so far with all this, and it had a lot to unpack from the last time too. Because I'm not gonna lie, I needed some time before I picked it up again too. With L being gone and all that stuff, that was a huge punch to the gut.
It really hits you deep in the soul when you see Elle just die and disappear
Mm-hmm.
completely from the show. And it's not even just Elle, it's Watari and Rem as well. Like it's characters that you have been loving and
Mm-hmm.
just really getting to connect with, and suddenly
Yeah.
they're all gone.
Gotcha. Oh, hang on a second. Let me boost your audio real quick. Give me 1 second over here. There
No
we go.
worries. Is it better now, Liz?
I think we should be. Let's see. Should be knowing in about a second or two. Let's see. We'll keep talking in the meantime. Hello, Stress Librarian. Hello, Liz. And also, major shout out to Liz for helping us out too at this. By the way, thank you so much for all your help with that too. It's a huge boost. Like,
Yeah,
cause,
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Liz.
and for doing so on such short notice though. So round of applause for Liz on that one. Thank you so much for all your help today. Like you saved our bacon on this one, big time.
Yeah.
Let's see. So much better. Yes. Awesome. We are on track. We are ready to roll. Let's see. Let's see. So yeah, it's just a huge like you lose part of the show with Elle and Rem and all the others too, because those guys were awesome.
I
And
mean, yeah, and it feels like when you see episode 25, it's like,
mhm.
what are gonna happen now? Because like it feels like Elle really can't be replaced as a character,
And he
and then they just kind of swing at you.
precisely. And yeah, he can't just be replaced like that. And because boy howdy, they sure do try. They really do try. I'm not disparaging the new characters coming in, which we'll get to in a second, but it's just it's still a lot to unpack though.
It's
And
a lot.
and for what it's worth though, going into episode 26, it's mostly a recap though, but it does a good job of like getting to where we got to so far. And there's a message from Elle that appears there towards the end of the recap section with all the notes in the investigation. But the trouble is that Light intercepts it and destroys it, I think, if I'm reading into that
Yeah,
correctly.
he pretty much does. And I must say though, like it's one of the most creative ways of having a recap episode of it just kind of being disguised as like, oh yeah, but this is all the files and all the information that I've gotten so far from the Kira case, and if you find this, I'm probably dead.
Mm-hmm. And in a way, too, I'm guessing that Light thought that by deleting it, he was going to get rid of him forever. It's like, yep, now you're truly dead. I got you now.
Mm-hmm.
But
And I
as,
mean, like, no one really, like, but at the same time, like, it's really cool finding out that Vatari was actually, like, a household name on having, like, several different orphanage and, like,
mm-hmm,
just being a
mm-hmm.
really good guy.
Yeah, he was also an inventor, too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was an inventor as well, so he was really rich.
Yeah, made a massive fortune making countless patents and stuff like that. But it's I will say though, Watari's an awesome guy though, but his real name is a bit of an odd one. With
It is,
yeah,
yeah.
Quilch Whammy.
Yeah, it
I was
sounds a little bit
yeah,
funny once you're saying it.
I'm looking at this out loud and I'm just like I was like Quilch Whammy. Wait, Quilch Whammy?
Yeah.
It's like I'm taken back to that one time with this one NES baseball game where the name just sounds so weird. I'll show it to you after the show tonight too. But it's like Like names that just that's almost sound American but aren't quite English.
Yeah.
But
I find it so funny whenever shows do that though, because they sound so funny when they're kinda English, but not really English, but they kinda try.
Exactly. It's like things that are almost one word but not quite another.
Yep.
Let's see. And but funny name or not though, he did some serious business though. He did an awesome job taking people in, making sure that they were looked after, and he was also, like we said before, L's caretaker. Made a lot of money there and made sure the team was looked after. So this guy was a fucking Giga Chad right there.
He was, and I'm still so devastated that we can't see him anymore in the show.
I know. It's just like, why would they do that to him? It's so, ugh. No. You don't do that to people. You don't do that. No. But, and suffice to say, our mood isn't the only one grim at the moment, because the investigation team's like in shambles at this point. Because L's dead, the facility cores are purged, the Death Note, the Shinigami are gone, and they can't investigate in the new building anymore, so the whole new headquarters is for nothing. And
yeah, exactly. They can't use that anymore, so they kind of just need to improvise.
Which is kind of a shame, because that new HQ building was friggin' beastly. I love that thing so much.
Yeah, exactly. But it's also really smart of everyone to just kind of be like, yeah, but Light, you were the only one who could succeed L. L even said so himself. Why are you hesitating? And he's kind of like, yeah, I know, but like it kind of feels like a sour taste in my mouth.
Exactly, because you're taking up the name of somebody who you just beaten in a sense. And then and I'm pretty sure even he knows he's not up to the new role as being L.
Yeah, pretty much, because like even though he's been playing this cat and mouse game with Al for all of this time, it's still very much like they usually just trump each other in some way or the other.
Exactly, and the other thing too is it worked on L. Doesn't mean it's going to work on everybody else though, because other people are going to think differently. They're not going to have the same crazy desire to win at all costs, or some massive ego or whatever. These are people who are professionals. They want to get this job done, solve this case so more people aren't getting killed.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Al, in some ways, even though he was always experimenting a little bit with the Death Note to find out all of the clues, he was still very rational about everything, that he needed proof in order to make it be reality. Otherwise, he couldn't trust it. But then you have just like really smart people that also are deserving of being detectives, yes, but they're also psychos.
Precisely, yeah. And it makes you wonder what would happen if they were in the reverse position too. Let's see, Bree, welcome to the party. Good to have you. Let's see, sorry for late. You're not late. Trust me, we're late right now. You're not late at all. We ran behind by about 15 minutes due to Discord trouble. So, long story. We'll explain later.
Bree, you're fine.
So no worries there. Let's see. So, but Light has new voice patterns set up as a duplicate of L to keep the charade going. And so Light assumes the role of L there, reluctantly, saying that he'll take the role remotely from a one-bedroom apartment. And this way he wouldn't disturb his parents or his sister or something like that. And so meanwhile, Aizawa wonders what we're doing with the Death Note now. What are we going to do with this thing? Where did it get to? And so, let's see. So Light then suggests that one of the five of the detectives hides the notebook, and it's somebody that they trust would never use it. And that's when you see Matsuda raise his hand, and then Aizawa says, "Yeah, Chief Yagami, you're gonna have it this time."
It was so funny when Matsuda was just phrasing it sound like, I would never use it, and then just like everyone just in agreement being like, Chief, can you do this?
Exactly. It's like with DBZ abridged, they gotta have like a Matsuda-owned count.
Yeah. It's so funny. He was trying to be like, oh yeah, I was just scratching my head, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's see. Rushula says, trying to beat the snow. Be careful out there. Yeah. It's like beat the snow, but be careful about it, please. Don't want you getting into any trouble out there or getting yourself hurt. Let's see, and so while the division's bickering on who's going to, what to do for the occasion of Light succeeding L, Let's see, Light feels a bit of depression coming on too. He's going like, it's like even though I've beaten him, I still see him right next to me at this point. So it's kind of ruins his whole mood though. Even though I've beaten him, he's still there in his head.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, like, that's to be expected because he left such a big presence. And suddenly he's not there anymore. And, like, it's also, like, because Light is kind of paranoid. Because, like, even though he's beaten L, it's kind of like, did he really beat L, though? Like, was it really that quote-unquote easy?
Precisely, yeah, because even if you beat somebody like that or win, they're a part of you at that point in time. If they have that much of an impression on you, they're going to be with you the rest of your life, no matter what you try and do. And so, meanwhile, let's see, Light's trying to settle down with Misa in an apartment somewhere in the city. They have a new apartment for a task force headquarters. And then at this point in time, that's when Ryuk and Light meet on the roof of the headquarters building and say, and Light's like, I'm gonna make a whole new world right now for proper people. And then Ryuk's wondering, is anything good gonna happen now? Because now that L's dead, let's see, all the fun's gonna stop. I think he's basically channeling the audience on that one.
Yeah.
At least initially.
Ryuk is essentially the audience.
I know, right? And this
because
next...
I feel like everyone is pretty much just thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's like that. Like, how is it going to work now? How are they going to do this?
Yeah, exactly. But sorry, what was he going to say?
No, you're fine. I didn't mean to cut you off either. I'm sorry. But yeah, exactly. It's like, this next sequence that happened, though, just really got my attention. Because it's where he's on the roof of the building, though, and almost like a conductor with an orchestra, he starts like scribbling names in the Death Note and killing people all across Tokyo. And the country, even. Which reminds me a lot of this one scene from, you ever see V for Vendetta by any chance?
Oh, no, I haven't seen that one. But what was the scene like?
Well, there are two different takes on it. One's in the comics and one's in the movie. Because in the comics, V basically has has sheet music to the 1812 Overture, and starts conducting, like waving his wand over the city, and then the BTN Tower and Jordan Tower in London start exploding to the music. And then in the comics, V does the same thing, or sorry, in the movie rather, V does the same thing with the Old Bailey Courthouse, while blaring the 1812 Overture over the PA system across the city. So it kind of reminded me of that in a way, where it's like conducting an orchestra. I'm surprised they didn't have like that music present.
Yeah.
It's just like dun 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 dun, and the whole city's blowing up around him in that case in V for Vendetta. But it just reminds me of that whole sequence. And
it does kind of do that though, because like suddenly it's just kind of like Light just wanted to have a whole new world. And he just promises Ryuko being like, yeah, but like, I'm gonna be the god now because like I have no one else to stop me. And suddenly you just see like a montage of just going on a killing spree once again. And suddenly it's been several years.
Exactly. And speaking of those people that were killed though, like I was gutted though because Iber and Wadey went down next. Yeah, Wadey got killed in the bike crash. Iber died in front of his own wife and kid.
That's terrible. I was so sad actually to see them go as well, and just pretty much everyone else that's been involved in the investigation except for the police force that's left, because Light just knows that he can manipulate them and control them, with him now being L.
Exactly, and of course I would expect that the entire council is also going at Yotsuba too. He basically summarily killed all of them as well. And then, essentially, at this point in time, those like you said, several years have passed now, and slowly but surely now, Kira is essentially becoming the law, in a way.
Yeah, it's pretty scary how everyone just kind of started to accept Kira as part of being justice.
But,
It's very terrifying, actually, because, like, at this point, Kira is just starting to become justice, and everyone is kind of rooting for Kira. Of being like, because it's kind of terrifying to see like some high schoolers or grade schoolers or whatever they were being like, I'm gonna post your name online if you're not gonna be nice, and Kira is gonna kill you, and it's like, what?
Exactly, and that's one of the problems too, because whenever there's somebody who's doing something with, 1 second, please. Sorry about that. I did not get the door. I apologize. Let's see. Lost my train of thought there, but yeah, it's like when you have people who are doing who basically say, I'm going to have this happen there, people could misuse that power for their own ends too. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
what's to stop somebody from saying, I'm going to use this for justice or do whatever if it's just going to fall apart, and then people like misuse it for like villainous purposes. And it's a horrifying prospect, because we see that going on today too, with like false reports online or other stuff going on, like all these various he said she said stories, and it becomes difficult to corroborate that too, with people getting caught in the crossfire. So let's see. So
Yeah, it's very interesting to just see how everything just progresses, because like you can see like Light had now become L, and everyone is just it's kind of weird also just hearing them call him L and Light that's like interchangeably. And it's like, no, but like it's so weird of hearing them being like, oh yeah, but L, and it's like the second L, and it's like, oh god.
Precisely, and that's the thing though. No matter what they call him, though, there's no way that Light could be a second L. Like, he's basically that in name only at this point.
And I mean, I do understand why they need to do that though, because if they would announce that L is dead, like there would be so much panic from the general public.
Yeah, they got to keep the whole charade up, and even Light knows this too. But this brings in another other point as well. At the end of the episode 26, though, a transmission was sent out to the head of one of Watare's orphanages, to a guy by the name of Roger, with the message, L is dead. And so, roughly, I'm going to say 5 years prior to the events of the current story, let's see, Roger sends two younger figures, Mello and Nier, to determine who's going to succeed L. And it's interesting seeing their dynamic play out initially, because Mello's very emotional and he knows it, and says that he and Nier don't get along with each other in any way whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then and acknowledges that Nier will handle the case unemotionally. And sure enough, 5 years later, Nier set out into the world to meet with the FBI and reveal the news on the Death Note, as well as the giving evidence to the FBI and the president.
Yeah, and it's very interesting also to see the contrast between them, because as you said, like Mello is extremely emotional, and Nier is very unemotional. Like he's almost like a robot, just taking in information and coming up with theories and taking in data and whatever else he does. Like he's very particular with how he does things, but he's very unemotional.
He really is, though. It's almost like a machine, like you said, though. Almost like L if he had no emotions whatsoever, and Mello's kind of like L if he had every single emotion possible. Let's see. Hello, Eshazor. Hello, May. How you guys doing tonight? Good to see you again. And a happy New Year's Eve to you, too. What's going on? Sorry, I let the caps on. No worries there. You're fine. No worries there whatsoever. Let's see. But yeah, let's see. Meanwhile, back in the USA, they make a whole new task force called the SPK, Special Provision for Kira, I think, which is to hunt down Kira independent of L. Let's see. And do we finish Death Note? Almost. I'm on the last. We're on the next to the last 6 episodes now. So next week we'll be finishing it for good. And
yeah, we're on episode 31 right now, so it's pretty much in the middle of like the second half of after L stuff and things like that.
Exactly, yeah, and it's like I said before, it's been an absolute train ride and a half, and we're just barely staying on the tracks right now with all of it. It's crazy.
It really is though. Like, and it's also like just so interesting to see how different Mello and Nair are, and it's just I can understand why they would choose Nair to be L's successor in actual name and in ability, because he's very similar to L himself with how he's sitting, how he looks, and just generally how he behaves.
Exactly, his hyper fixations with the with playing with toys and stuff like that and that sort of thing. Let's see, and May says you got the Keikaku Dori.
I love that meme so much. Yes.
I gotta see that at some point. I must have missed that. I'm sorry. I feel, I feel like the time traveler's wife in this
It's
case.
been memed to death in like the anime community, like especially like on Twitter and things like that. But like,
I gotta see this at some point too now.
as soon as soon as like Light was like Kikagudori, Mama, there was it, the Kikagudori. That's all according to plan.
Yep. Oh, so that's what it was. That's what it was. I'm sorry. I'm telling you, I'm freaking blind over here. Just as planned, yes indeed. Let's see. Hello, Snake-Eyed Gorgon. Welcome to the party. How you doing today? Good to have you around. Let's see. So what's going on over here? So back in Japan, after several years now, the Kyoto case has hit a dead end. No surprise there, because considering that Light's manipulating the whole thing. And more people online are ordering more deaths for Kyoto to carry out. And Matsuda is wondering if it's possible to use a death note to kill those people who are requesting it. But the chief is saying, no, we can't do that. We can't censor the internet. We can't do that sort of thing. And he's right, though, because you can't. People are going to find ways around it. There's always back doors.
I mean, yeah, that's because it is the internet. Like, anything is really possible if you put your mind to it.
Precisely. And speaking of people putting their minds to things, though, Matsuda is still, still has his eyes on Sayu. And let's see, and he's going like, at some point, and then Chief Yagami, Chief Yagami, Mrs. Yagami, and even Sayu herself shoot him down one after the other.
It's so funny just watching that scene because, like, he's like, "Wow, Sayu is so pretty and beautiful now," and everyone else is like,
"It's like I refuse.
No.
It's like I refuse to let you marry a detective." It's like absolutely not, and it's like you're too skinny and not like good enough or whatever, and it's like, oh,
poor Matsuda.
Exactly. Let's see, Matsuda owned count 1,000,001 at this point. Let's see, it's exactly Eshizor. It's like, can I interest you in anything all of the time? So said Bo Burnham right there. Here's the second opening ending songs by Maximum the Hormone. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, I have seen those. Those are amazing.
Like, those openings and endings are like, you just put everything on steroids and you're going
exactly. It's like death metal on steroids and crack cocaine at the same time.
And just the editing of like how everything just goes insane.
And it's also fitting too that they have let's see, Zetsubo Billy, the ending is the best. Yes. Thank you for saying so, May. Thank you so much for saying that. It truly is one of the best endings of all time.
Yeah, it's so good.
Oh my goodness me. And let's see here. Let's see. Meanwhile, let's see. Chief Yagami gets a call from Aizawa, where the Director Takemura has been kidnapped. Although, funnily enough, though, I did make note of something. The subtitles read "kind-apt" on the thing for whatever reason. I don't know why. Must have been a typo, I think. Let's see. He's been kind-apt. He's been taken away with an app of kindness. It's the opposite of a death note. It takes you to a place of relative comfort and safety. It's the love note.
Yeah, exactly.
And let's see, and now let's see now. Lose my train of thought. Sorry. So there's a bit of a stir now with the because the Death Note's existence is out. Like, let's see, Light is especially concerned about all this, considering Chief Yagami never discussed the Death Note with anybody prior to this, or the directors, so how would the assailants know about it in the first place? And the answer is simple, because one of the assailants is in fact led by Mello.
Yeah, and I find it like very. He's very on top of the wall, Mello, because he just goes unhinged in everything that he does.
Precisely.
Like, he doesn't want to work with Nier, so he just was kind of like, no, I'm not going to work with Nier, I'm just going to leave. And then he leaves, goes and kidnaps the top chief of the police in Japan, and it's just like, yeah, if you want the I want the Death Note and you want the chief, right? So, problem solved.
Exactly, yeah. And furthermore, this one bit had me busting out laughing as well. Let's see, kidnapped sounds worth it, honestly. It's Ashes. It does. Kidnap some chocolate, too. That's a good one, May. I love it. I love it so much. Kidnapping with kindness. So this one bit, though, when a call comes in from this FBI guy who comes onto the scene, the one guy who gives the alias there had me fucking rolling. It's like FBI agent John McEnroe. Because if you, are you familiar with John McEnroe in real life by any chance?
I don't recognize the name in real life. I just thought it sounded a bit funny. Because
I was looking at that, though. I recognize the name right away. John McEnroe was a famous tennis player back in the 80s. who was known for having who basically cursed out one of the referees. Where he was like, seriously, you can't be serious! That ball was on the line! So as soon as I heard that, I was like, you can't be serious about this right now. John McEnroe as an FBI agent. I'm expecting him to come by in a tennis outfit with a headband and a fro, because John McEnroe had an afro back then. Yeah, seriously, you can't be serious, says May. See, maybe I am serious. You never know. Oh my god! You guys
just going off with this stuff.
Oh, you better believe it. We are the Pungent Masters over here. Oh my god. So, anyways, McEnroe denies what happened with the director. Yagami knows to demands what happens, and let's see. Nier's listening in on the whole situation there, and as it turns out, though, the FBI wasn't involved at all. Though, like I said before, it was Mello the entire time with the whole mafia crowd. And they now know the identities of Chief Yagami, Matsuda, and Mogi as well. And so, and like you said, though, Mello is absolutely freaking unhinged. Dude is ruthless. And essentially he's going for, he doesn't want the Death Note to just for the sake of having it. He wants to kill everybody who stands in his way. And to do so before Nier does. So he's viewing this whole thing as this massive competition.
Yeah, the only thing that really matters to Mello at this point is just who is going to find out who Kira is and who is going to catch him sooner. Because he absolutely does not want to lose to Nier. And he is one of those people that's like, he's going to take any means necessary to get what he wants. Like, he does not play by the book whatsoever.
He really doesn't, no. And that's what makes him so goddamn dangerous. And it's also the danger, too, of when personal morals give way to winning at any cost, because that doesn't do any good for anybody. Like, least of all to you in return, because somebody's going to catch up with you at some point. And,
yeah.
See, May says that's what happens when your diet is only chocolate. Yes, exactly. Because Mello eats nothing but chocolate. And if you do that, you're going to go absolutely batshit crazy. It's going to mess with your bloodstream.
I just love whenever you just see Mello, he's just taking a bite of his chocolate. It is just like...
Yep. It happens every single time. He just takes a big bite out of a chocolate bar. Let's see. So this also raises the further complication. We have two members on opposite sides stirring shit up to try and get at Kira. The only question is, how's it going to work? Are they both going to try and draw people out? Let's see. And May says, Nier's in the corner eating toys for big brain energy. How would that even work? I'm just trying to imagine. just taking
It's
a
kind of like with Al when he needs his sugar and his coffee,
just
and Neo
just
just needs his toys.
yeah, just see near eating a train set next. Oh my god. I was like taking a big bite out of a Lego set or something like that. I don't know.
It's kind
Oh
of
my
like
god.
how Al is just sitting in that particular position. It's like I
Mhm.
lose 20% of my brain capacity if I don't have sit in this position. And there
I, I
is just like
I know,
I
right?
lose 20% of my brain capacity if I'm not playing with my toys. Okay.
May says the Lego set's like Fruit Loops. That is not how that works, man. You know it. And yeah, exactly that. It's like if you're sitting that way with your brain working like that, it's like. But I wonder if you keep eating it that way, you're gonna lose 20% of your brain capacity with that chocolate. Like that's just how it's gonna work. Uh, and thank you for the Yoda death screen, Liz. I appreciate that. Um, let's see. So at this point, Light is getting desperate because the chief's now in their custody and is probably giving information away. So he has the director kill himself with a death note. Hung himself with his own necktie, I think, no less. But this is what Mello wanted. So let's see. So this is where things get really despicable on Mello's part. He orders Sayu's kidnapping, Light's sister, because he realizes that Chief Yagami's part of there. So he figures I'll go out to their family and see what they know instead to get to them. And then,
Yeah, it's very despicable how he did this of being
mm-hmm,
like, oh yeah, but like if he's involved and he's one of the main guys of the investigation, I'm just gonna kidnap his daughter. I don't really care. Like, whatever.
mm-hmm. Let's see. And then Light, of course, wonders if the kidnappers would give up after the director died. At that point, though, Light's starting to show weakness now because he figures that the director knew that they were close to L. The kidnappers would go after them, and sure enough, a call comes in, and Mello says the director is dead and that the deal is off with regards to the director, and that and then says that they have Sayu at this point in time, and he says if the police make too much noise, we're gonna kill her. And
Yeah, exactly. And but I still feel like that Light still showed like panic and weakness ever since the moment that he killed the highest ranking police officer, because
mm-hmm,
like he set himself up in a trap, because like the only one who actually knew about this was the police. Like, are you dumb for real?
mm-hmm. Exactly, yeah. And let's see here. Bree's giving me a Jar Jar Binks impression, so I'll give my commentary on this section in a Jar Jar Binks impression. So here we go. Let's see. So Misa thinking that Lighter made his first mistake now, okay, because now that they're taking his sister, Ryuk makes notice of saying, these are being fun again now, okay? Because, yeah, Ryuk now says things are fun again. And Light just knew he screwed things up. He screwed the pooch.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for the Jar Jar redeem, by the way, Bree. I appreciate that. And let's see. So Light remarks that while Kira may have been the one to kill the director and not the kidnappers, let's see. He doesn't want the note of being sent to the criminals in the first place because he figures now they know what's going on. They know that I can't kill my own family. He figures maybe they know something.
Yeah, exactly. And like you can just see that Light just doesn't really know what to do in this situation, because he's like,
Mm-hmm.
can I really kill Sayu? Like, do I have to kill Sayu? And then it just kind of switches in his mentality of being like, if that's my only choice, yeah, I will kill Sayu. And it's like, you're insane.
Yeah. It's like, how can you even contemplate killing your own sister? Which is really fucked up to think about. And, let's see. So Mello gives demands to Chief Yagami, says go to Los Angeles and go there alone. Let's see. Aizawa traces the call over to 5th Street in Los Angeles. And Chief Yagami says, I'm going alone. I gotta do this. And then Nier, meanwhile, figures out that Kira has gained information from the police force. So he says there's definitely got to be somebody on the inside for this one. It's one of them on the task force.
Mm.
And so when Light speaks to Nier for the first time, he's wondering to himself, am I speaking with Elle all over again now? Let's see, is this deja vu at this point in time? And he now, let's see, but little does he know, he's being squeezed from both sides right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to cost him dearly in the end, I think. I just know it's going to have dire consequences to him. And so...
Like, he's kind of stuck like a fish in a pod between, like, two.
Mm-hmm.
Very dangerous for him.
Yeah, caught between a whale and a, or they're caught between a shark and a fish grinder.
Yeah, exactly.
For one of the better terms at this point. May says, his daughter had Ghirardelli chocolate. Can you blame him for kidnapping her? I wonder, did she really have Ghirardelli chocolate? Caught between chocolate and toys. Oh my god.
That's another way of putting it. Yeah.
That's great, May. Thank you so much for that. Oh my god, May's bringing the heat today. I love it. Let's see. So, oh my goodness me. So Nier now believes that the case they're on could lead to Kira's arrest, and so Nier pledges his full support. And so Light gives Nier all the details that he wants for the story about how Saya was kidnapped, and then Nier immediately guesses that it was for the notebook, for the Death Note rather. And so they get a force nearby the satellite coverage and gives Light full authority. But let's see, back at the FBI headquarters, let's see, the commander wonders it was a good idea entrusting all that to a fake L, and Nier believes they can use it to take advantage of Light in the first place.
Yeah, because he knows that he's gonna screw up somehow, because like this kidnapper is way too prepared.
Precisely, like crazy prepared. And so it's where, let's see, then we see Light and his father have a moment together about where the chief says he's going to lay down my life to save Sayu because I'm her father. And so Light warns him, don't throw your life away. Do whatever you have to make sure you both get out of there alive. And then that's when Light goes out to LA first with Misa, and they go to friggin' Rodeo Drive in California, for God's sakes, which is friggin' luxurious as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, and like I mentioned there before too, this is where like Light contemplates killing Sayu if he has to with the secret compartment on the Death Note, or on his watch rather, with a piece of the Death Note in there. And I'm just wondering, if he had gone through with that would have been just utterly horrifying.
At the same time, if he had gone through with that, like, he would have fucked himself over once again, because like it's only the police that knows about this. Like, yeah, he fucked up one time with Takemura, but he can kind of cover that up. But
exactly.
Killing his own sister, absolutely not.
Yeah, exactly. And May says they're going to Bougie Town, California, of course, not Compton, California. Yeah, exactly. It would have been kind of funny if they did go to Compton in that case. In fact, I wonder if that's where the bad guys were in Compton, but you never know. Let's see. So they're heading off to their destinations, and that's when the pilot, let's see, for Chief Yagami's plane, diverts the flight away from Los Angeles, and another guy takes the chief on board a different plane in the first place. So if they have that kind of pull over the pilot in that case, this guy was a veteran, as they note too. So the pilot's overpowered the co-pilot and takes him over to a remote desert somewhere in California. And then let's see. So Light's beginning to unravel at this point too, because, like I said, he gave a once over of the flight crew, and is like, this shouldn't have happened. They shouldn't have. Let's see. I double checked them. They shouldn't have been anybody else out there. And at this point in time, I think they're trying to determine if Light is in fact Kira, because if Kira killed the director but didn't kill Sayu or the chief yet, they have to know that he's related in some way to them. So it's further pressure on Light at this point.
Yeah, it is. And it's also like the fact, it's insane to think about that Mello have all of these connections and so much power in place that he can just hijack a plane and just take them wherever he needs to go.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Let's see, Liz says nobody wants to go to Compton or Long Beach other than 3M. That's totally fair. Let's see, so at this point they head back to the desert, and this is fucking crazy though, because they have the entrance to the base is hidden in the desert itself. Like, they have a hidden panel camouflaged by the sand there, which opens up, revealing a hidden staircase. Like, how did they get all this thing prepared in the first place? Apparently it was some guy's like hidden fortress or whatever, but it's like unreal. Because the base is now underground. They know where it is though, but now because it's underground, Lake can't see what's happening, and he's further at a disadvantage.
Definitely, because he loses his cool immediately and just calls Nier, being like, what the fuck is going on?
Precisely. And then, at this point, the exchange is made with them, with poor Sayu just in sheer panic at this point in time, with that one guy in the mask asking for the Death Note, and then asked to demonstrate the Death Note, how it works and stuff like that. And, let's see, Nier, who, at this point, I'm almost confident Nier knows that L is Light, and that Light is Kira. And then baits him, saying, did you why did you let the notebook fall into the hands of somebody you don't know? And at this point, though, Light's just like being squeezed so badly. He's feeling the pressure for the first time in a long while. And then, like I said before, at this point in time, that's when he knows he's in no position to be giving the orders to the police as L. And let's see, to the point where he's even taking it out on Misa in the middle of all that too.
Yeah, and I can actually appreciate how quick Ryuk is also being like you just taking out your anger on Misa, like what?
Yeah, exactly. Let's see, take your time, Bree. No worries, do what you gotta do. And like he's becoming almost as unhinged as Higuchi ever was, for God's sakes. And it's horrifying to watch too, because it shows when you think you're in a position of power, like when you think you're on top, sooner or later you're gonna screw up, and when you do, you're gonna fall very, very far.
Exactly, and this was the exact moment. You just got to play it very hard.
Let's see, and then at this point in time, though, that's when Chibigami and Sayu escape. Let's see, right as Light has the piece of the Death Note ready, he was ready to kill his own sister at that point in time. That's how desperate he was. That's like how utterly at the brink this guy was at this point. But thankfully he sees them leave there. The perp heads for a helicopter, and as the helicopter heads out there, this is what's even more crazy with the whole thing. They put the Death Note in a radar-proof missile. And I'm just wondering, it's like, where'd they get this shit from?
Exactly. I'm just sitting there like, how did they get all of these things? Because they're not even part of the CIA or the FBI. They're just doing this shit by themselves.
Exactly. It's like, I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me right now. The missile's off the scope there. Let's see, and then Nier has an idea of where it might land, what Mello might do with it, and so on and so forth. And then, and as the perpetrator is flying away, is like, so my sins are white clean, right? Yes, indeed they are, and blows up the helicopter with him on it. Which is a classic bad guy move, especially in James Bond movies. It's like, what's the expression? Where he's going like, it's like, I don't want to do this anymore, but I won't tell anyone, I swear. Oh no, Hugo. I know you won't. And then drops him into the piranha tank.
But it also shows that Mello he doesn't really care that much about human lives. Like, if he needs to sacrifice some, he will do it.
Exactly, and then sure enough, though, as Mel gets the death note, he starts killing all the guys in the FBI headquarters too.
Yeah, and I was like, what are you doing? Because like at the same time, even if you do want to catch Kira first, like there's no option of killing all of the FBI agents that would be benefiting to you.
Exactly, other than to just give a middle finger to Nier at this point.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a child's game at this point.
And this is why children should not be playing with death notes. So remember, parents out there, do not give your kids a death note for Christmas. Or Hanukkah. Or any other holiday out there. Or birthdays, even. Let's see, May says, those are all Nier's toys. Yes, indeed. That would actually make sense, considering all that's been happening so far. But, where was I on this discussion? Lose my train of thought there. Let's see, too late for May. Let's see, and yeah, it does sound like blood for the sake of blood. You're right, though, Ash. It absolutely is. It's just like Mello just being a dick for the sake of it at this point. And then Ash is wondering, do these mobsters have connections to the U.S. government? You never know. Or maybe like May said, maybe Nier had them hidden nearby to help out or something.
That would make sense, yeah.
And maybe that's why he used the death note to kill the guys at the FBI headquarters. It's like, I don't need your help, so now you're not gonna need any help over here in the meantime. But again, it's just childish as shit right now. And then
It is.
And at this point in time, we see Light at his absolute lowest ebb right now. Like, he's just absolutely defeated. Because, sure, while his sister is safe, while his dad made it out of there alive, the Death Note's in enemy hands now, and he had no control over the situation whatsoever. And he's just disheveled, slumped over, swats a drink away from Misa, too, when she's trying to comfort him. And then, let's see, Nier acknowledges that it would have been taken anyway. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Nadja. What were you going to say?
I mean, he's just very annoyed and like he feels kind of useless of not being able to control the situation. But at the same time, you shouldn't be treating Misa like that because remember, she is the one who has the Shinigami eyes, and like you need her essentially. Precisely,
and yeah, don't take care. Don't be bad to the people who are taking care of you. It's like this is someone who genuinely loves him very much, and he's just going to treat her like trash. And that's no way to treat anybody, for that matter. Which is why it's like one more way of how disgusting Light actually is.
Yeah, that's true.
And let's see what else is going on. Oh yeah, that's right. That's when Nier also mentions that Mello's playing a game with him to try and take care of Kira, the last boss of life, so to speak, as it were. Which is kind of an interesting way of looking at it, because, like you said, it's all a child's game to them at this point, even though people are dying left and right. But he also mentions that Mello lived in an orphanage run by Watari, which unnerves Light even further. So like it's like this person knew L, this person knew his caretaker, so makes him wonder even further if L's getting revenge from the grave.
It definitely feels like it because like it's kind of the imagery of L having still the last laugh.
Exactly. And while this is all going on too, though, I felt so bad for Sayu as well too, because even though she gets back home, it's like she's in a wheelchair now and is just more or less catatonic from the whole thing. Like she's utterly just devastated from being held at gunpoint, held captive for God knows how long at that point in time, and Lord knows what they did to her as well.
Yeah, she just got heavy PTSD, and then like I can't blame her whatsoever because what she went through was truly traumatic. Traumatic?
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's one of the most traumatic things anybody can go through, because let's see, people are just saying, "Oh, you're back, you're safe and sound." No, you're dealing with somebody like your life was on the line. You didn't know what was going to happen to you for days on end, or weeks or months, or however long it's going to be. You don't know what's going to happen to you then and there. you're basically grappling with the fear you could die or have something horrible happen to you or your family. And the stress of that can wear somebody down. It can age somebody prematurely.
Yeah, exactly.
And speaking of aging prematurely, though, I'm wondering what's going to happen to poor Chief Yagami at this point in time, who's given everything to try and help his son out, and his daughter got kidnapped. His wife's probably worried sick about him even more, and now it's like he's probably ready to croak at this point in time.
He probably feels like he's failed everything that he set out to do as well, because he feels like he's failed as a parent with getting Sayu kidnapped. He failed with the investigation with not being able to catch Kira, and also losing the Death Note to enemies' hands.
And then that's when this time that Ryuk is confronted by another Shinigami of Sido, I think it was Sido.
Shido, yeah.
This little bug-looking thing with like something out of Kamen Rider.
It's so funny though how Shido is like, wait, where's my Death Note?
Yeah,
and why have Ryuk taken it?
Exactly. It's like I want it back. It's like, why are you following me? I want my Death Note back. Give it back. And then
he's like, stop following me. It's like, where's my Death Note? I don't know where it is.
And then at this point in time too, let's see, while they're bickering with each other, let's see, Light and the task force are going over the details from the Whammy house. Let's see, Watare's orphanage, which also was a home for gifted children, including L, Mello, and Nier, with the intention of raising L's successor. And which is kind of funny as well, I just noticed this too. Now they're going in alphabetical order, L, M, N.
Yeah, that's true.
Which also makes you wonder too if it's a bit of a stretch to say this too, considering that Light also starts with L, but he's going to K now, so he's going backwards to Kira. Which could also, in a way, again, it's a bit of a stretch, but if you think about it, you're basically regressing, going backwards, falling into a bigger hole by going into Kira from L to K. And you're just basically making yourself fall apart.
Yeah, that's really true, actually. I've never thought about that.
That's, we're going to have an O, says Heshizor. We'll see about that. We'll see about that. Let's see, but at this point in time, Light's putting the pieces together that Nier and Mello were both at the academy together, and were ranking as the highest and second highest. And he figures that if they were working together, Mello would have wanted to be L's successor given his valid actions, and they would have had something, and would have wanted to get the Death Note at all costs. And he's going like, oh god, let's see, L is fighting me from beyond the grave now. And so he's trying to find all of Mello's connections, has Misa looking into the names of Mafia members who are being hunted by the police forces, and then finds one without a death date, and reasons that guy must have the Death Note, with the name of like Carl Snyder, I think.
Yeah, and once again, Misa is just coming in clutch.
I'm telling you, without Misa around, he would have had nothing. He would have had no way of...
He would have been caught a long time ago if he did not have Misa around, and she was that obsessed with him as she is.
Exactly, yeah. That would have been horrible for him at that point in time. He would have been screwed. And nonetheless, because of his own ego, screwed he is right now indeed.
Yeah, he is.
So let's see here. So, trying to recall real quick. So Light makes Snyder send him a letter revealing the location of the Death Note, using his Death Note to do so. So I'm guessing that he had Snyder kill at that point in time. Or I'm trying to think too. Remind me again, the rules of the Death Note say that you can't kill somebody with a Death Note, can you?
I don't think you can. Like, the only option that they could do was that he relinquished the ownership of his Death Note so he could give it to, like, someone and just send it, but still have, like, Misa's Death Note. But at the same time, that Death Note is already gone, but they cannot kill the owner of the current Death Note because they also, like, quote-unquote, like, pseudo Shinigami, so they can't.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Which is what I figured, but I'm trying to think. He could make, let's see, but from what I'm seeing though, he did use the Death Note to make Snyder send him a letter, I think, with the address of the current location. So it did have one important way of controlling somebody, which is kind of interesting when you think about it.
Super funny how the old Shinigami is like, I see the address where my Death Note went.
Yep, he found it's still burning there, which goes to show, if you're gonna burn your evidence, make sure it's in an extra hot flame and not just near a candle or a fireplace or whatever.
Make it quick.
Exactly, like put it on flash paper so it burns instantly. Let's see, lately Death Note saying, "Screw the rules, I have money." that's true, May. And welcome back, Bree. Good to have you around again. Let's see. Oh my goodness me.
Good to have a Yu-Gi-Oh reference once again. Mate.
Exactly. It's kind of funny in a way. Light does kind of look like Seto Kaiba, right down to the arrogance and the hairstyle too. Let's see. Screw the rules. I have Death Notes.
That's true.
I had to when you said the rules. That's fair, May. I gotcha. No worries. Let's see. So, and like you said, though, yeah, Light gives a control the Death Note over to, and has Ryuka give the Death Note to somebody who might be worthy.
Your face.
Thank you for the 100 bits on the My Balls, Your Face, Ashazor. Thank you very much for that. Thank you. So at this point in time, so Saito's back at Mello's base, and reveals that the 13-day rule was all made up, and the other one too, like all the rules in the Death Note were made up, the ones that were written in there by Ryuka and Light at that point in time. And he wonders if the original one that he had there was owned by Kira at some point in time. Let's see, Ashazor was like, "What's this button do?" No worries, but thank you. That's very sweet of you to do that. Thank you very much. Let's see, May says, "Love the background music." Thank you very much. It's mostly by Home, I think. I'll give you some links after the show's over today too. It's good stuff. Let's see. So, where was I? So at this point in time, Misa gives a call in to Chief Yagami as Kira, asking if the Death Note was stolen by criminals. And Yagami asks if you can prove your identity, and says, now that it's been stolen, there's no way that I can prove that I'm Kira by predicting killings. And so declares that on the 10th of November at 11:59 p.m., every Mafia member that they've gathered information on from the FBI will be killed, and then they had their hideout located as well. And so this will be the best opportunity to get it back. And so the plan then is to use to have one of them do the Shinigami ideal. And this is where it starts getting really heavy too, because Chief Yagami, volunteers for it.
And he does so almost immediately as well, just being like, I wanted to kill myself anyway, so what does it matter if I lose half of my life?
Precisely. And unless he kills again, he believes he'll die in 13 days, but it's a fake rule anyway, so it's not going to matter that much. Let's see, so Chief Yagami takes the Shinigami ideal, and then makes his move of looking at the photographs of the various criminals there, and once their names go out, let's see, they go in there, in a flash, the mobsters inside of the building all die, and the police storm the building. So Mello's caught unawares, wonders what happened to Sito, and you see Ryuk outside just holding him there and subduing him. It's like, now keep quiet. You keep quiet here, you get your Death Note back, I promise you. Just keep quiet.
Keep trolling him. Like, you stay there for a moment, and you will be fine. You will get your wish, I promise.
Yep. And all the while on the camera, it looks like Sito's just sitting there. Because he can't see Ryuk holding him.
Yeah.
And so they get the Death Note back. They capture two of the mobsters, and that's when Mello gets desperate. He blows the entrances, then traps the squad into the building, and then threatens to blow the whole place up. And so Chief Yagami disarms, takes his mask off, his weapons. Let's see, spells out Mello's real name, Mikhail Keel. And Mello's like, how do you know that? And Lights is just going, Dad, put his name in the notebook. Do it, for God's sakes. But Chief Yagami hesitates. And that moment's hesitation causes the poor Chief to get gunned down from behind. And I was like, no, not Chief Yagami. He can't die right now.
Yeah, exactly. I was so upset when he got shot in the back. I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, of course he's not gonna kill Mello because he has a very strong sense of justice. Like,
right.
it was kind of a mistake anyways to have him take the death note because, like, he would not be able to kill anyone regardless. But
Exactly. And it's like, that was a freaking cheap shot from behind, too, on top of that. By just one of the random nameless characters, too, no less.
Yeah.
Let's see, at this point in time, the rest of the squad gets in there, shoots the other guy, and then, with no other option, Mello blows the building up. And they think they got him, but there's no trace of him inside. So, miraculously, somehow the team survives the explosion. And so either he didn't plant the charges in the right spot, or he was using it as cover to escape. So it's one of those two options. But needless to say, though, Mello didn't escape unharmed.
Oh, no, he didn't. He definitely got hurt by that.
He was badly scarred in the process from that. So now Chief Yagami's in the hospital in critical condition. The rest of the team's injured, but they're still alive. And Chief Yagami can see that Light doesn't have the death note anymore, believing that, that's the expression, and he's relieved, saying, I know for a fact that you weren't Kira. I'm so happy to hear that. Even though we all know what's going on, it's definitely him. And that makes it all the more heartbreaking too, because A, the Chief's on his way out, B, Light's totally guilty, and on top of all that too, Light has no concern for his father fucking dying in front of him in the hospital bed, and is just grabs the note and says, "Write down his name, for God's sakes! Write down Noel's real name." And that's all he can think about at that point.
Yeah, I got so upset when that happened because Chief Yagami is still one of my favorite characters in Death Note. I've always liked him since I saw him.
Yeah.
And seeing him go out like this with a sheep shot from the back by some character that we don't even know the name of feels very upsetting. And then you just have this piece of shit son just sitting there being like, just write his name in the Death Note. And it's Light, don't you think that looks very suspicious, even if you are valid to feel upset?
Yes, exactly. Because it's all you care about now is just getting this guy or whatever, and it's just going to make you look even worse. It just shows you don't even care about your own father at that point. And before we can do that, Chief Yagami flatlines right there in the hospital bed. And I was like, fuck no, not the Chief now.
Why is every good character dying? Come on.
Let's see, and then, exactly, it's all the good characters have gone now, Iber, Wadey, L, a whole bunch of other good characters too are gone. Now the Chief. Who's next at this point? And then on the rooftop, that's when the task force gives Shido his death note back, and he flies off contented.
I mean, he got what he wanted, so he's happy and being like, thank you, I'm going back to the Shinigami realm now.
Yep, it's I got this covered now, don't worry. And that's when the next episode happens now. It's so now Nier believes that the current Kira is reckless, no kidding there on that one, and the exchange of the task force was just far too convenient, I think. Let's see, May says, heading out for now. Glad to have more Death Note podcast. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too, May. And take care. Have a safe flight out there too, by the way. Be careful getting back, all right? Hope you have a good time and enjoy the rest of your vacation. And thank you so much for coming by today.
Yeah, Happy New Year, May. I hope you have a really good night.
And for those who haven't done so already, I'm giving a shout out to her right now. Please give her a follow, because May is, for want of a better term, amazing. Pun intended. She is seriously amazing. So it's the least I can do for you in that case, though, May, because you've come a long way, you're doing awesome, and I want to help in any way I can, because, again, least I can do for you. Losing my train of thought here, I'm sorry.
It's fine.
So, so at this point in time, though, Nier almost pretty much knows that Light Yagami is Kira, and that he's also L. And so, take care, all you too, May. Take it easy. Yeah, please be careful out there. And then the, let's see, meanwhile, over in Japan, crimes have basically become non-existent. People who are committing crimes are fearful to give their names because it's like, no, Kira's gonna kill me. I don't want my name. It's like we can't begin proceedings until you do this. It's like, no, I don't want to give my name, anything but that, because any crime now is basically a death sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Which honestly is no way to live. It gives no room for rehabilitation for anybody. It gives no room for any sort of justice whatsoever. It's just one. Let's see, you do one thing wrong, you're dead.
And it's just kind of insane to see how they also have evolved with the entire supporters of Kira as well.
Mm-hmm.
With just having that guy from Sakura TV just creating Kira Kingdom and just sending it and being some kind of like, oh, I'm the voice of Kira, and it's like, oh, you didn't say it actually.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a it's like it's become a cult. There are people all across the world worshiping him now in cults.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's absolutely insane. And other people are threatening to post names online for people to kill. Like you said earlier, though, it's like, you stop bullying me or I'm going to put your name on it for Kira to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but what hit me the hardest, too, was the scene of Mrs. Yagami in tears over her husband dying. Like, she's sitting there over the table with a packed lunch ready to go, and she just starts bawling over the kitchen table.
That was so hard to watch because, like, it was just right after Ryuk also had been, like, everyone that it gets the death note will be met with some kind of despair. Was this really worth it?
Mm-hmm.
And then it just switched to his mom sitting there just bawling her eyes out. Like, she lost her husband. She lost pretty much her daughter. She is about to lose her son. Like, what does she have left?
Exactly, and worse still, her son's the root of all this.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what would she feel like if she knew he's pretty much responsible for ruining her family?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And furthermore, at this point, does Light even care? I highly doubt it at this point in time.
I mean, since he was very content with the thought of killing Sayu, I couldn't imagine him being caring in any way sort of towards his family because they're no use to him anymore.
Precisely, and that's what's really fucked up about the whole thing. Like, these are people who raised you, who wanted you the best for you, who gave you the best start in life, and that's how you repay them.
Mm-hmm.
That's just utterly despicable. No question about that. And
it is.
Let's see, and even worse still, all of Japan and now the U.S. has basically capitulated to Kira. The president says on the air that they're taking no action to pursue Kira because wars across the world are ending and all criminal organizations are now in ruins. And this causes a lot of tension on the team too, because Matsuda is saying, while the world is better for honest people, it does. He doesn't believe that Kira's justice whatsoever. And Aizawa says correctly that they're not following Kira out of faith; they're following out of fear.
Yeah.
Because
they follow him because they're afraid of getting killed if they don't follow him.
Precisely, and generally speaking, people will do whatever you tell them to if you put a gun to their head. And this is not a good thing. It's basically, it isn't justice, it's hostage taking. You basically have the whole world at gunpoint and threatening to kill them if they don't do what you want. And that's no way to have anybody live. That's a way for any society to live, no way for anybody to be.
Yeah, exactly.
It's no better than say holding nuclear weapons over a nation's head. Or it's essentially it's blackmail and terrorism of the worst sort. And that's no way for anybody to go around living their lives. Just looking over your shoulder, being in fear, whether somebody's going to rat you out for one reason or another, not knowing if you're going to make it through the next day. And
Yeah,
because
exactly. Especially since it's like escalated to the point of being like anyone can be really killed for anything really petty. It doesn't need to be a crime worth like. It's not scum anymore that's getting killed for doing despicable, despicable things. It's just normal people.
exactly, and who's to stop people from making false reports or going in there and saying stuff like, "Well, they did this to me, so they deserve to die at this point." It's like, okay, they're dead.
Yeah.
Like no middle ground whatsoever. No room for due process. No investigations. No nothing.
It's terrifying, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to live in that place there. I wouldn't want to live in that world whatsoever. I'm pretty sure nobody would at this point. And, let's see, Matsuda then says he understands why people call Kira a savior, but at the same time, though, it's his duty to try and catch Kira. He's still part of the task force. And then Light reasons that if Kira is caught, he'll be evil, but if he rules the world, he's a savior. It's kind of like with anything else. It's like with any commission of a crime. Like it's only a crime if you get caught, so to speak.
Yeah, and I mean, like, when it comes to that logic that he tries to do there, it's like, at the same time, don't you think that sounds very suspicious in itself? Because, like, you're trying to reason that if he doesn't get caught, he's not evil. But obviously he is evil.
Exactly, yeah. Let's see, Ashura says, reminds me of a book I once read. Which one was that, by the way, Ash? And, let's see, Nier understandably is disgusted with the president's capitulation and says he's a chicken, or worse than that, like a maggot or something like that. And exactly. And then, and that's when Mello shows himself at the FBI headquarters. Let's see, they want to kill him because, you know, what's it called? Like, this is the guy who killed all their men. And Nier says, no, it's not going to do any good right now. And so Mello says, I'm not a tool to be used for your puzzles there. Let's see, Nier. Let's see, but I came by to get the picture back, because you have my picture. I want it back immediately. So he says,
Yeah,
fine.
exactly.
So he says, fine. He gives it back to him. But he also divulges information about the death that belongs to Shinigami, as well as how to use it, and that that some of the rules are fakes. And in spite of all that, though, they look at each other one more time, do their signature gestures with the chocolate in their hair, and it's like the race is on to catch Kira first. So at the end of it all, despite their arguing, all their strutting, all their posturing, it's still a game to them at this point.
It is. It's a very fucked up game, but it is a game.
And then, what else happened there? So at that point in time, Nier contacts Light via the video call and asks about the fake rules in the notebook, and asks, which one do you think it is? And Light says correctly that it's the 13-day rule. And then Light asks, Shinigami, are there any fake rules in the notebook? He's like, nope, there aren't any whatsoever. And that's when Aizawa realizes that if the 13-day rules are fake, then if Light spent 13 days in prison, or in this case 50 of them, it would have been for no reason. So, and furthermore, that the rules were put in place after the confinement, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And then he also realizes that he actually was the one who put himself in jail. He went willingly knowing that, and that just makes it even more suspicious.
Exactly, yeah. Aizawa's onto him now. He knows what's going on. And then, let's see, Nier makes the offer to Light to write Mello's name in the notebook, and says if Nier dies 13 days later, that Kira would win. And so, let's see, Light devises a new tactic, saying, asking the division if he wants to test out the notebook for themselves, and the division says, no, we're not doing that. And that's when Nier asks, he says, basically, tell me, was there ever a time when you thought that the second L was also Kira? And that's again when Aizawa realizes, like you said, that if if 13 days pass and nothing happens, they can't rule out Light being innocent, but also that he was in prison willingly. Let's see, Eshazar says the book was 1884. Really? I can't say I've read that one before. Which one was that all about? Was it 1884 or 1984? I'm trying to figure out which one that is. But let me know in chat when you can. No worries. Trying to think too. So at this point in time, though, Light's like, I gotta kill Nier right away now. I can't let this happen. And but what's more disturbing though is he's doing this. He's just saying straight up kill him, not going for any sort of plan. He just wants to straight up get the guy now.
Yeah, he just went straight to like, I need to kill him.
Mm-hmm. And so, and they're planning on reporting their findings to Nier as soon as possible. Aizawa and Ide, that is, rather. And they're saying, they're talking this amongst themselves, unaware that Light's been eavesdropping on them the entire time. And I wanted to touch back, too, on that one thing you were mentioning as well. The one program with, what's his name? Demigawa, that obese TV executive from Sakura TV, who made the program called Kira's Kingdom.
Yeah. Which
is like, I'm not too sure. It's so weird. It's like almost like a televangelist channel, or like one of those telethon cult shows you'd see on TV.
It feels like that, yeah, because like it's just spewing propaganda of like of what Kira maybe would have wanted them to do, and he's just proclaiming himself to be a prophet of sorts of Kira's voice.
Gotcha. And it's just and it's like I think I mentioned it to you in private at one point too, because Light Yagami is now essentially a false god, and once you get a false god, you're going to get false priests, and that's basically what Demigawa has become. And they're setting up a whole temple for him now for people to worship and do whatever, and they're going to start using that to their own financial benefit. And that's basically what Demigawa's in it for. He's going to be like a whole blind supporter for him, doing so just for his own gain. And Light's happy to have that arrangement with him in the process too, because it's clear that he and Light are working together on this thing, at least in part, in one way or another. And it's like I'm wondering if that was like a jab at like maybe Rush Limbaugh or Glenn Beck or Fox News or whatever, with the whole
it could be,
considering the almost theocratic zealotry with which he was going about it too. And then at this point in time too, with a bit of remarkable prescience given where we find ourselves today, the TV reporter Demigawa organizes a riot against the FBI HQ building in Manhattan at Misa's request. And he starts going, Nier, shouldn't you evacuate the building now? Get out of here before they get to you. And so it's and so he starts like orchestrating the attacks from the helicopter and whatever too. And it's like, I know this was like many years in the future at this point in time, but it's eerily reminiscent of what we saw with January 6th too.
Yeah,
with the whole attack on the Capitol building, all that stuff there too. It's like, it's like, what's going to happen now? Because now that there's this huge mob outside the headquarters there, with black flags and armbands with Kira on them, almost like Nazis in a way too.
I mean, yeah, definitely. And it's also like just kind of amusing in a sense to like when Light is just like, shouldn't you go outside, Nier? And he's immediately like, that's very bold of you coming from Kira.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's onto him right now. He's like, he's like, you got Sunriff telling me to evacuate Kira. Let's see, there are many organizations that are looking into you, but let's see, but we're the ones getting attacked today. The second you suspect me of knowing anything about you, the timing's too convenient.
It is too convenient.
At that point, let's see, and let's start. It's like, no, you're imagining things. It's like there are many factors over here. You're making too many assumptions. like right into full-on gaslight mode right away, which makes him look even more suspicious. Let's see, Escher says, 1884 dystopian book about extreme police state, high surveillance, very little due process, and like let's see, and it's like my name equates death or something like that. That's a good point. I got to read that at some point too. But thank you for the heads up, Ash. I appreciate that. Oh, go away, ads. Anyway, sorry about that. Let's see. So back outside though, the whole riot's going on there. And this is where things get really interesting, because what happens now is that they're going, we have no other choice. Use L's fortune. It's like, but if we use that once, it's like, it's our only chance right now. We have to do this sort of thing. And so they pour a ton of money out the window in $100 bills. Like as many as like $10 million, maybe $100 million or something. But it's like money that's just pouring out the windows, which distracts the crowd and allows them to escape. And
it's so funny just seeing how everyone just reacts to that, because like even though everyone just gets dropped on money, and Light and Misa are both kind of counting on Demigawa to be like, but we will still be able to see Nier when he goes out, even if he's disguised as a police officer with her eyes. And Demigawa is just like not giving a single shit about that anymore as soon as money is involved, because he's very greedy.
Exactly, that's his motivation. He's in it for the money and nothing else. And he says, "Pallet, fly up to the window where the money's coming from." And so they lose their focus on the police force, and Nisa starts freaking out about Demigawa doing more for the money and not for quitting the riot based on like love and peace or whatever. It's like, doesn't work that way. That's not how people work, unfortunately. It's like, let's see, it's just kind of funny too, because they literally paid the riot to look the other way at this point.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just so funny how everyone just stopped caring as soon as he introduced something else that's more important to them.
Exactly, and then and furthermore, Ryuk's whole remark, it's like, that money could buy a ton of apples. Like, how many could that buy?
Yeah, exactly. He was like, wait, I kind of get it though, because like you could buy a lot of apples.
Exactly. And that's what's so great about it. Like, Ryuk never fucking changes, and I love it. It's so good. Like, he just wants his apples.
He's the same character now as he was back in episode 1. Like, he literally is the same.
Exactly. And then, let's see, so basically the whole riot disintegrates. Let's see, the police arrive to subdue the rioters. And furthermore, Nier and the team put on riot gear the same as the police force have there, and they blend in immediately and get away. What I also found funny, too, was that as Nier's getting his riot armor on, he's still carrying his toys. Yeah. It's like, buddy, forget your toys right now. You got to get out of here.
And he's just like, but I need my toys, man. My toys are my life.
Exactly. And so, since Light can't spot them in the big crowd of protesters and riot police, he's beaten once again, in spite of the blatant attack on the headquarters. So now Nier's escaped, he knows what's going on there, has the evidence of the whole thing. Light looks even more suspicious in the eyes of both the police force and everybody else. So in trying to attack and do this stuff, he's only made himself look even more vulnerable. And, let's see here. Nier also mentions to the task force that he has a phone number direct to him that was given out earlier, and says, give me a call if you find anything out. And Nier also says, you got to be done within a preschooler to not to spend the second L of being Kira. And again, cites the convenience of the attack, how soon it occurred. And then Aizawa also has some more thoughts on the matter, wondering, if out of respect for Chief Yagami, he doesn't want to suspect Light, but at this point, he kind of has no choice now, because all the evidence is adding up.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when he's also realizing once again that Al suspected him from the beginning, and he continued to do so.
Yeah, exactly. And furthermore, I wanted to touch on something else too with Aizawa. It's so touching when you see moments with their families like that in the story. It gives more depth into these characters. Like, they aren't just there for work and nothing else. It's like these people have people they care about. The guy's got a wife and daughter.
Yeah.
And
it's just so heartbreaking in a sense where he just like puts on a happy front in front of his daughter, and as soon as she leaves, he's just like, fuck me.
Because he wants to make sure that she's safe too as well, yeah. And I can only hope that happens to them in the end though, because I don't know what's going to happen next, but I'm hoping for the best. Let's see. Hello, Manu. How you doing today, buddy? Good to have you around. And let's see here. Let's see. So Light wonders what happens if someone does contact Nier next, though. And he says the problem. Let's see. If any problem does come, it's going to be not if they call, it's after they call. So he doesn't know what's going to happen at this point either. Further showing how, again, utterly vulnerable he is. Like he knows that he's losing his grip on his power.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And let's see. So Light then orders Misa to carry emergency order number 3, whichever this is. And Misa's like, no way. What's happening over here with this thing? And as you would expect, there, with what's happening so far, Aizawa's the first one to call Nier with the details on the investigation. And there was something I noticed about the this particular one scene too, because with Aizawa being the first one to call, I noticed that Nier dropped several dice on the table near the dossier, all the dossiers on the Japanese force. One lands in Aizawa's dossier, which means let's see, he's like the first to call there on that one. But let's see, a 2 lands on Light, and a third one let's see, and a 6 lands on Matsuda. So I'm wondering what this means in this case, because if it can't be coincidence that it just has one person having something like that there. Is something going to happen with Matsuda? Like, what role is he going to play in this whole thing? Like, what's going to happen next? And I'm just speculating now. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm wondering what's going to go on at this point in time. So
yeah, because I mean, like Matsuda, at least like so far, like he's been a little bit in the background again, but he's like he's been speaking his mind, but at the same time, you don't really know what he's up to.
And furthermore, does this mean that Aizawa was the first one to call and that Matsuda's the last one to act on something? I'm just trying to figure out, given the symbolism going on over here. So, again, I can't tell what's going to happen, but we'll see what's going on. What happened to dice 3 through 5? Well, he rolled 4 dice. The 5th, let's see, he rolled a 5 and it landed on something else. I'm not too sure where it landed. It landed on a different dossier on something else, but I didn't quite make out whose it was. But, let's see, so Aizawa gives all the details to Nier that Light was detained for 50 days. And there were two suspects that were cleared due to the 13-day rule. But it doesn't mean that they're Kira according to Aizawa, though.
Yeah, exactly. And he also tells him all about like the Shinigami eyes and like the suspects that L just suspected, and Nier was just asking him, being like, and who were they? And Aizawa being like, sorry, I can't tell you that much. I'm already telling you so much.
Exactly, because he's part of the task force, he can't reveal too much information. And he also told Elle about how Chief Yagami put on an act to supposedly execute Misa and Light. And that detail alone right there is what tips off Nier to what's going on. Because he now knows that the primary suspect was Chief Yagami's son, and determines it's like, yup, Light Yagami is Kira.
Yes, exactly. And it's like that just settles it. It's set in stone now. That Light Yagami is Chief Yagami's son, and he is Kira.
Precisely, yeah. He's like, I got you now, Popeye. I got you now. So, the next day, though, Aizawa comes clean and says to Light that he contacted Nier about the whole thing. And Light says, well, it was my idea in the first place, so don't worry about it. And then comes out and says, "Listen, I suspect you and Misa both, so I'm putting you both under surveillance right now. So in fact, I think you both have death notes, and I'm going to search what's going on." And so Mogi goes along with him to check out the whole scene at the apartment. And so Misa comes to the door dressed in skimpy attire, and they're like, she can't have a death note on her person with these clothes. So it was to allay any suspicions at this point. That's probably what the emergency order was. And then under the pretense of searching for explosives planted in the house, they try to figure out where the death note could be. But Light has already made precautions to move the death note someplace else. And since the second one's gone now, they only have one left. And it's going to somebody else entirely. But they also have pages of it elsewhere. So it could be anywhere at this point. And they're looking for a notebook, not for pages. So that's...
Yeah, exactly. And
so
it's very smart of him to just be like asking Misa to give up her ownership of her Death Note right now because it's too risky to have her have the Death Note. But like it's just heartbreaking in a sense because she loses her Shinigami eyes once again when she just becomes a normal woman. And even though like Rem died for her, so she got the lifespan of Rem. I get it that she's probably gonna live for a long time, even though she has done the Shinigami eyes 2 times now.
Exactly.
But it still breaks my heart because, like, girl, stop.
Yeah, it's like you're being used, Misa. Like get away from this guy. You go find somebody else.
Yeah.
But then again, though, love makes you crazy in that sense, or at least lust does. And she's like adores Kira.
Yeah, that's true though.
So it's a mess. And as I said before, too, though, she might be an accomplice, but she also is, in a way, one of Light's victims. Because she's still being used. Let's see, the stars light at last exactly. Oh, you okay there, Bree? Can't stop coughing, you said. You doing all right? Hope you're okay there. Let's see, so then on the Kira's Kingdom program, back at the Temple of the False Priests, let's see, Demigawa's got this whole big plan on building a huge temple in Kira's name or something like that, and I'm like, are you for real right now? Like this...
I know, it was so ridiculous. Like, are you for real?
It's like this massive monolithic temple right then and there, but like most things out there, I'm pretty sure it might have been a scam in the end. Because what this guy won't do for money is ridiculous.
I mean, he will literally do anything for money, so you could literally be one of those priests that just takes donations and whatever in the purpose of Kira and just take it for himself.
Exactly, yeah. And I'm pretty sure that even Light knew that. And he's already like, this guy's pissing me off. I gotta get rid of him. And, let's see, and he's also worried, too, that by acting on his own, he'll turn people away from what Kira's all about as a force for justice. And not just as a money-making machine. And so he says, I got no further use for this guy anymore. So on the program, let's see, Demigawa starts introducing several hand-picked executives for Kira's Kingdom. And then, meanwhile, off-screen, a mysterious individual with jet black hair and Shinigami eyes kills every last one of them on the show, one by one, and followed by Demigawa himself. And what's even crazier is this happens with Mogi watching Misa and Aizawa watching Light to see if they have any chance of the Death Note. It's like, how'd this happen? They had no way to use it. Which goes to show Light still has an ace up his sleeve in the end.
I mean, he definitely knows how to use it to his advantage of knowing exactly when to give up the ownerships and give it to someone else and just making people confused and being like doubting themselves if they actually were right or not.
Exactly, yeah. And let's see, but then we see this guy going just like delete with all the guys on screen there. And apparently this guy is someone named Teru Mikami, I think his name was. And
Murakami, yes.
Let's see. And this is the guy who who Light had Ryuk give the death note to at the appointed time, and who seems to be in line with Kira's ideals, who basically worships him without question.
Yeah, because he pretty much wrote down that Kira is a god to him, and it's like, oh god.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And now I'll admit I went ahead a little bit there to see what this guy was all about too on the next episode, because I was curious. And this guy is like I got as far as reading into his backstory on the whole thing too with the character, but this Teru Mikami used to be a prosecutor, or still is rather, who basically believed that he could like stop anybody from doing wrong, or like keeping something from happening or whatever, because he would stand up to protect people who are being bullied, got himself hurt a lot in the process, or humiliated, and his own mother was saying to him, please don't do this, it's going to make yourself look foolish, because you can't save anybody in life, and that's true, you can't help everybody out. But what truly set that in motion is he went from being a noble person to being, again, like unhinged, was when he said, like, no, my mother was wrong. No, she didn't deserve to exist.
Yeah.
And it's like,
that's just
I'm like, dude, are you serious right now? It's like, just because she disagrees with you doesn't means they don't have the right to exist. And they find this guy has an absolutely black and white morality to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's either everything or nothing at all with him. Like you're either guilty or you're innocent. And if you're guilty, you deserve to die.
Yeah, exactly. And that's fucked up in his view mindset. Exactly,
which is horrifying from the perspective of the legal system too, because if you're going to be a prosecutor or whatever else, you have to be impartial. You have to not let your emotions get in the way and decide this person deserves to go. Because if you're already going to be biased going into the system and you can't recuse yourself from the court case, then you're already not fit to be a part of the courts.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there's no way that you should be allowed to make decisions that involve people's lives. It just doesn't work that way.
I mean, like, it's pretty much like, to be a prosecutor, you gotta work the same way that Elle did. Like, you need to have all the facts, you need to be unbiased, you need to figure out the truth, essentially. You can just not become a judge all of a sudden to be like, oh yeah, but this is what I believe and this is what should happen instead.
Precisely, and now that this guy has his hands on the death note, he's now become judge, jury, and executioner. Let's see to quote Judge Dredd on that one. But, let's see, but yeah, you also see another interesting tidbit as well. I got up to the point where it shows a familiar figure from Light's past as well, where the one girl he was dating in college briefly is now a TV news anchor, who also had the same sort of ideals as Mikami does.
Yeah.
And which is kind of interesting and also kind of disturbing in a way. But it also makes you wonder, though, what had happened if Light stayed with her? If he hadn't gone with Misa and decided to go about doing his own thing? Like, would...
I feel like they would ended up, like, pretty similar to how Misa and Light are right now.
Only the question is, though, would this person be even more unhinged than Light was, or more reckless than Misa was?
She could be.
And that's one thing I enjoy about this show so much, is you wonder what could happen. What if this happened in this case? What could have happened then? But moreover, it also again comes to mind, like, what could have happened if he hadn't gone through with the whole Death Note thing in the first place? He could have gone he could have gone to college, gotten a job with the police force, maybe worked with Elle down the line there, and then dated this beautiful woman who's now a newscaster. He would have been set for life. Nothing to worry about. Maybe would have been disaffected in one way or another, but he would have been, content living a better life and not worrying about what would have happened.
Yeah, exactly. He would have had a perfect life, essentially, and now everything is just in ruins and in flames, pretty much.
See, all because of his hubris and his fucking ego. It's like, And it's true, as you're saying, power does change people. Yes, exactly. But and to the point they're almost become unrecognizable. Because you see Light go from this fairly ordinary school kid who was gifted in one way or another to just becoming like an absolute monster with the world in his grip.
Yeah, exactly. And it's terrifying to watch.
Mm-hmm. And again, going back to Metal Gear Solid 2, though, with that one quote from the end where it's like where the information age is given too much power to the individual. Let's see, too much power to an immature species, as that one AI puts it. And again, positing the question, like, should somebody like that decide what the truth is? Or it's like, should they even have the right to decide to begin with? And also mentions when they said to Raiden, this also applies to L2. You do nothing but abuse your freedom. You don't deserve to be free.
Mm.
And then followed by saying, we're not the ones smothering the world. You are.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's just super complicated now, because I can't say for sure where it's going to go or what Teru Mikami is going to wind up doing, but now that he's become an appointed spokesperson for Kira, what's going to happen now? Where's he going to go down the line? Who's he going to kill next? And furthermore, how far is it going to go?
I mean, that's a really good question, though, because, like, there's only 6 episodes left as well, because, like, so much can happen in just 6 episodes.
Exactly, and that's what makes it so good. I can't wait to see where it's going to go, what's going to happen with it, and, oh boy, next Sunday is going to be a whole lot even more to unpack, and I cannot wait. It's going to be...
Yeah, I can't wait to see your reaction to how this entire thing just ends, and it's going to be a ride for sure.
Absolutely, it's been a ride already, and I kind of don't want it to stop, though, but it's got to come to an end at some point, rather. It can't come to a point at some end, because that's what pencils do. They come to a point at one end.
Yeah.
But let's see.
But it would still be a good way to, like, start 2024 with ending Death Note.
Exactly, and like they said in Command and Conquer, the end is the beginning. And as we're going into the new year, we're going to be ending a whole new series and starting some new ones. And now I got to figure out what to watch next. There's so many things we can review out there now.
Yeah, there's so much anime that we can check out. Like, there's a ton of them. Like, we can pretty much watch anything that you would want to, because, like, we will pretty much show Death Note together, and, like, we can watch something that we've both seen, or, like, if I haven't seen it and you've seen it, like, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll figure something out. But it's quite a series, though, and I'm still mentally kicking myself for not watching this sooner, because all the stuff that I missed out on growing up, though. But you know what, though? I'm kind of glad that I watched it now, because I have a better understanding of the world around me, what's going on, and what's happening with everybody else, people's motivations, the effects that greed and power can have on the human mind, that sort of thing. And it really
exactly.
it gives you a whole new perspective than what you'd be understanding as a kid or as a teenager watching this show. Because I'll admit it straight up, I was pretty naive as a teenager growing up. Like why isn't the world doing better things? Why can't we do better than this sort of thing? Like, why aren't people properly motivated?
Exactly.
Yeah,
You learn a lot of different perspectives as you grow up, because I remember when I was watching this for the first time 10 years ago when I was like 15, and it was just a very different person that I was back then. And to me, Death Note was just something that was very cool, because so much happened, but I didn't think too deeply about, like, the ideologies and theories and perspectives on life that Death Note just brings up. And it's been really cool to just revisit it, being a lot older and just thinking of all of these things.
Exactly, yeah, and it really makes you think a whole lot more from where you were beforehand, and you start going, oh, I didn't even see that beforehand, too. There are other things that you don't pick up on right away, too. It's like when you watch a movie for the first time, that you see it for your 100th time, and you still find new things to look at. And I'm betting you anything that anyone can go through Death Note and still find more stuff that they missed the first time around, or the 60th, or the 6,000th time, and they'll still be picking through it. It's kind of like with V for Vendetta, as a matter of fact. I still read that book like every once in a while, and I still find new shit in there.
That's so cool, though. Like, I love when you can just discover new things that you didn't really think about.
Exactly, because I saw the movie when I was in high school, read the comic when I was in high school, and some things I didn't pick up on right away. Like I said, kind of like with this one earlier, but I've read it about maybe 150 times by my estimation. I'm not even joking, because I still read it like every once in a while, like in case I need something like looking for inspiration on like storytelling or just something to get my mind working again. And I still notice new things in there, like different perspectives, different takes on the characters, new details I had missed beforehand too. Like there was a scene where I thought was just like like when Codename V escapes from the prison camp using a homemade bomb that he built in the prison. There's a scene of like the courtyard on fire. I didn't notice right there that those were people on fire in there too, like silhouettes of people like trying to put the flames out. And you just see so much with it. It's incredible. And that's why I enjoy this series so much too. It's very reminiscent of that. Someone trying to reshape society for the better, but also has really twisted ways of doing it. Let's see, and because one person wants to rule as a new god, the other, let's see, V wants to dominate society. It's not just dominate, but basically leave people to anarchy and make new lives for themselves.
Yeah, exactly. It's just so many themes and stories, and just in general, like just questioning life and existence and leadership and whatever. Like it's very interesting.
Exactly, yeah. And let's see, anything you wanted to add to or discuss on Death Note as well, or just out of curiosity, anything we hadn't covered so far? I just wanted to double check or double back anything else you wanted to cover.
For these episodes, I don't think so, because we've pretty much gone through everything that happened from what I can remember. Like, I don't have that much more, like... Like, it was just a wild ride of, like, 6 episodes of going from Al dying to suddenly having 2 new people, and both of them being kind of insane.
Yeah, different facets of El's emotions, so to speak. Like you wonder if at any point, considering... Actually, when you think about it, they are different facets of him in one way or another, because El was willing to arrest and then hold Misa captive to get information out of her, as well as interrogate and do whatever was necessary, and all while being cool and calculated on his own end. So they're basically opposite facets of a greater whole. Two sides.
Yeah,
of the,
exactly.
of the...
It's pretty much like, imagine if they actually did work together. It would be like having to deal with El.
And I wonder if that's why they kept them separate, because it would have been like the same plot point all over again with El going into the whole thing again. It's like, it's just El under a different name with 2 people. So you keep them separated and do different things. It makes the whole thing interesting.
I mean, yeah, that's true, because they're 2 very different people, even if they are having 2 very similar aspects of El inside of them, you know?
And it's just absolutely wild, though. So, as we approach the home stretch for this whole series, though, hats off to the Death Note team. You've been an amazing series, though, but you don't need me telling you that. But even so, though, as a first-time watcher, this is just a hell of a ride. So again, they did a fantastic job with it, and I can't wait to see how it ends now.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. It goes out with a bang for sure.
I can't wait to watch. Ah, man. And with that in mind, I wanted to say, too, what do y'all have planned for the new year coming up? Like, anything big going on? Y'all enjoying yourselves comfortably? Just kicking back, relaxing at home? Doing what you gotta do? Because Nadja, you got anything going on for this evening? Like I think you mentioned you're having family by or something.
Yeah, my twin is home, so I'm probably gonna spend some time with them, and we're probably just gonna spend some time watching some anime, probably finishing up some anime that we were watching together.
Nice.
And I'm probably also gonna play some games with some friends later on.
Awesome. Looking forward to that. And that'll be let's see. As for tonight, I'm heading out to a friend's place for a New Year's party, so I'm not sure I'll be streaming tonight, unfortunately, but I'll be back on tomorrow for sure, though. So it's gonna be so either way, though, we'll definitely be having some fun. But that said, though, let's see. Ashazor says first stream tomorrow. Nice. Good luck to you there with that. Hope it goes well for you. Russia Liz says work other than that, no plans. Gotcha. But again, hope it goes smoothly for you, though. Hope you have some time to relax and do what you gotta do. But all that said, though, I hope everybody out there has a safe, happy, and healthy New Year, and that goes to you too, Nadja. I hope you enjoy yourself tonight, and have a very happy New Year to
really
you.
Nice. The same to you guys. I wish you have all a very happy New Year as we go into 2024, and I hope that you will achieve everything that you want to achieve in the next year.
Exactly. Yeah. Keep on working toward your goals. Make sure your resolutions count, because I know you can do it. Some people put the resolutions off, but you're going to do awesome out there. I know this for a fact. And as long as you stick with it, you're going to do a great job, and I'm wishing nothing but the best for you. So keep on doing awesome. Keep on being awesome. And yeah, don't be strangers, and God bless you all. Thank you very much for coming out today. Thank you to everybody on stream there. Thank you, Nadja, for being easily the best co-host anybody could ever ask for right now. And I mean that sincerely. Like, thank you for everything.
Yeah, you too. You've been an amazing co-host for everything that we have done so far with the podcast. I couldn't have asked for more.
Yeah, hopefully we can collab together sometimes on different streams too. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, that would be really fun.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, keep me posted, and then we'll go from there. And let's see. In the meantime, I think we covered what we're going to cover for the moment. So let's see. Who should we raid today? Who's going to be our victim or volunteer for our love being spread this afternoon? Who should we raid today? Let's see. I can see that. See, Keister's on there. Strawberry Soju's on there. Who else is on here today? Oh, yes. Let's see. Yeah, Strawberry Soju's doing things over here. Let's see what she's got going on. I think she's got definitely a victim, says Eshazar. Same for you, Sirius. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Let's go raid at Strawberry Soju. She does awesome stuff. I think she's doing a team fight tactics today, so yeah, we'll spread some love around over here. And with that, everybody get in the clown car, because we are going on a raid. And with that, thank you all again for coming out today. Hope you have a safe, happy, and healthy New Year. Be good to each other. Have some fun. And until next time, until next year, on Novikins, lights out. Take care, everybody.